this evening, and we're really super excited to be chatting with as many people as we are across North America. Just really quickly want to introduce myself. I've got my name is Jim Denzine. I reside with my family in northern Wisconsin. I've got a couple of business partners that I'm going to talk about throughout the presentation. Mr. Paul Seagraves, him and his wife Stephanie reside out in Washington State in the Seattle area. Terry and Yvonne McEwen live just outside of Orlando in Groveland, Florida. This is an amazing opportunity that I'm laying out here this evening. For those of you that are guests, I encourage you to sit back, listen as intently as you can. Just put aside the multitasking for the next 25 or so minutes. We're going to go super fast. We're going to cover a lot of ground very quickly as we get started here. This is all about you. I want to grab your mind's eye right now. On the front end of this, we're going to talk about people keeping money and making money. And one of the things that I want to do as we lead into this, a lot of times we don't sit back and think about the masses. We're so in tune, or I should say, we spend so much time thinking about, okay, what is it about me? We fail to realize, okay, what is the real need out there, in America today? And I start by tapping your mind's eye by asking a few questions. Who do you know, maybe it's not you, but who do you know that is sick and tired of paying too much money in taxes? Who do you know that wishes they made more money? Or who do you know would like to obtain an immediate pay raise? And we are going to sit back. I ask you sit back, relax, don't multitask. But let's talk about that first little piece here of keeping more money. Team One Power Play is a group of men and women that have come together. They're successful men and women, entrepreneurial spirit, over 100 years of collective experience. We went out, we were vetting companies, and we were focused on providing real solutions for real people. We wanted a real message. That word real keeps jumping out. And these techniques, these methodologies in creating wealth, creating cash from home, have produced and helped tens of thousands of people around the world, literally, over the last 25 years. And we are leading a movement that is based on two initiatives, and they're not. It's really not hard to understand. The first begins with business ownership, helping you keep more of what you already make. We all know there's two tax systems that exist. One is for the informed, the business owner. They receive income, they pay bills and stuff, they buy stuff, and they're only taxed on what's left over. The other is for the uninformed, the employee, where they work hard, they trade time for money, taxes are deducted, they're forced to live on what's left over. I want you to know straight up, the reason why we start our presentations with this is not about hype and spin. This is not about some moving target, a rabbit called success that you can see it, but you can never touch it. I want you to know that what I'm about to show you, you can fund the startup cost and the cost of operating your business, which is very little, with the money that you can receive just on the money you save from your tax scenario. And we've got a system that at the end of this I'm going to talk about where we'll plug you in. You just get on a path, kind of a conveyor belt that helps coach you and set you up. That's what Team One Power Play is all about. So what system are you part of? Now, just in case you're sitting back and you're going, oh, really, come on, where are you going with this? Well, let's just grab your attention here. If you take $1 million, if you take a dollar and you double it 19 times, it equals just over $1 million. But if you take the exact same dollar, you deduct the taxes, double it 19 times, it's a little over $20,000. Yes, $20,000. Now, the reason why we are on a mission here is we know that fundamentally, if we get people hooked on the concept of business ownership, creating income, leveraging their greatest asset. And you might say, well, what is that? Well, you tell me. What do you think people's greatest asset is? I'll bet you don't give the answer that I'm going to give. People thinking, assets in terms of the money, their investments, the real estate, their holdings, their 401ks, or whatever their money might be. That's not the case. Your greatest asset, really believe it or not, are the people you know. And I want you to think about this. Out of the people you know, how many of them do you think are not taking advantage of owning their own business or really understand the benefits of owning their own business? Would you ever start the first of the month? We've got, March is zooming by. We've got April 1st coming up. What if on April 1st I said, hey, I want you to go to the bank, grab 5 crisp $100 bills. I want you to lay them in an ashtray that morning at the kitchen table. and I want you to let them on fire and burn them. And you might say, oh, come on, Jim, you're being a little facetious. No, I'm not. That is the reality of what many, many people are doing. So when you're thinking, you need to think multidimensional. You need to think, okay, if this has impact for me, because we're going to talk about the opportunity and the income next, and then we're going to talk about what substantiates our opportunity. If you think about what draws people, what grabs their attention, I'm telling you, it's not just business ownership, but it's the fact they can fund that business and grow that business. Because a lot of people didn't wake up this morning thinking, well, I want to own a business, but how am I going to fund it? They didn't think that at all. How many people today you think woke up and said, hey, today I'll bet somebody's going to send me a link. I'm going to end up on some web-based meeting and they're going to show me how to make $100K a month. I don't think people really think that way. I think they're busy trying to survive. So have a little fun. Go to moremoneylowertaxes if you haven't already.com. Jump into our tax calculator. It's part of our funnel system. And the reason why, again, we show this is we went out there and we started vetting companies, which is part 2 of our story, which is part 2 of our mission, and that is making more money from your own home-based business. Now, this is where we really dive in and we go warp speed. We chose a company called Sozo. It's a company hubbed out of Austin, Texas, here in the States, and we believe it's the perfect home-based business due to their uncommon business model, which is built on a solid foundation designed for retention. It's 100% legal. It's a direct selling association member. They're well-funded and they're debt-free. Now, I really believe there's 5 things that a business has to have in place. 1 is legal. 2 is funding, all right? That is very, very important. 3, they have to have proven corporate leadership. They cannot have skeletons in the closet. I have walked away from opportunity after opportunity after opportunity during the vetting process because when we ran background checks and we really started looking at the types of leaders that were behind these companies and we looked at their resume, you know, generally what you see is Mexican jumping beans. They hop from one company to another. They're not about long term, all right? I'm going to talk about our resumes. I'm going to talk about our background here throughout this presentation. Sozo also has a very unique worldwide exclusive marketing right, a technology that we're going to talk about. They've got best-in-class product verticals or product lines that just happen to be in different multi-billion-dollar industries. Again, I'll point out there as we get into the products after I go through the comp plan that you're going to find that it's really a no-brainer. That's what makes the income so palatable as we talk about the revolutionary compensation plan. Because now we can kind of check off as we go along. Nobody at the end can say, well, I don't think I can afford to do this. That's the wrong answer. We've already shown you whether you've seen it or internalized it or not, how you're going to fund your business is through saving money because you're going to keep more of what you already make in your job. But now as we segue into the compensation plan, guess what? It is super lucrative. Why? Because they are all about upfront cash. One of the problems that plagues this type of industry is people don't make enough money or they don't make enough money fast enough. So those kind of crack the code on that, no pun intended, because they're upfront bonuses. I kind of nicknamed them the first order bonuses. They're paid through kind of a coding system. They're tracked through a back-end residual that pays up to $50,000 a week. But on that front end, there's a coded bonus and there's a 25% life team match. And we're going to break these down. Excuse me here, I'm fighting a little bit of a cold. So we're going to break these down and we're going to quickly just cover the back end. And we've got that long term in place, that wealth creator. So we're really excited. The comp plan cannot be beat. And you might say, oh, yeah, I've heard that before. Well, let me say this for those of you that kind of have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder. Documentation beats conversation. Just between myself and my 2 business partners, Terry and Paul, we've got 75 years combined experience, literally over $50 million in earnings during those 25 years collectively, and over 1.5 million people put on teams. Terry had an Amway business that was over 1 million people strong, okay, from 1987 to 01. That is massive. He's the who's who. You don't get the chance to work with too many people like Terry McEwen and his wife Yvonne. He just happens to be our business partner. So what did we do? We went out there and we were looking for a comp plan that I'm going to quickly walk through and illustrate. I'm going to talk about these first 3 steps. Let's call it 3 different groups of people. What you do when you come in is you want to start building a team of people that are excited about keeping money, making money, and understand really how simple our products really are. When you bring in those first 3 people, you're going to earn 3 what we call mentor bonuses for starting people off correctly. Those total earnings are $300, and that creates what we call your life team in the front end part of the comp plan. Now, the significance of your life team becomes apparent once we hit that 3rd step. All right, remember, I'm breaking this down into 3 steps. The 2nd step happens after you put your first 3 people in. Once you do that, your personals are worth $200. $100's from the mentor bonus, but in this particular grouping, you earn $100 to infinity on every single person that comes in your organization that's coded to you. Here's an illustration: 3 who find 3 who find 3. You've got $900 that come in off those 9, $2,700 that come in off the $2,700, and so on and so forth. So what happens? Just visualize what happens when organizations go 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 deep. What happens when those 27 become 81, 243, 750? Now, for those of you that have experience, what I would call you're a little bit seasoned, this is where I start to challenge people, because nobody touches this comp plan anywhere, all right, especially with real products, is that our products, because they taste so great and they're so commonly used, drive the excitement of people coming in on the front end. But the fact that people are coming in on the front end actually drive the back end residuals. It's an ebb and flow between the two, all right? Now, here's where I'm going to ask you to challenge yourself. Think a little bit multidimensional. I want you to look at that life team and visualize that as those people come in, they're doing the exact same thing. They find their first 3 and fill their life team, and they get into their marketing director code, and they start building this. Now, I'm going to show you a slide here in a minute or so. It's going to talk about month, week, or day earnings. I want you to visualize, where does this go per day in this 2nd grouping? One person a day would be $3,000 a month. 10 people a day would be $30,000 a month. Okay, 100 people a day. Yes, do the math. $100,000 a month. So you can start to see there is pop to this comp plan. Now, when you help 10 people, I clicked the slide one step early. When you help 10 people in the 2nd grouping fill their life team, meaning find your first 3, your congratulations, you rank advance and open up that 3rd group, okay? That 3rd step in our comp plan. You notice that you get a little bit of a bump. You're now making $300 per person on your personals and $200 to infinity on everybody else that comes in that's coded to you. So just imagine 3 who get 3 earns you $8,100. Combine that with that 300 and that 4,500, you've got earnings of well over 12.5. Okay, so here's the amazing thing, is that when you look at this, now let's talk about month, week, or day in this particular grouping. Okay, 1 sale a day is $200 a day times 30 is $6,000 a month. Well, what if that's 10 sales a day? That's $60,000 a month. What if it's 100 sales a day? You say, well, come on, can it really get that big? Well, 100 sales a day is $20,000 a day. Yes, it will over time. You have to understand the business model. And if you're seeing this for the first time, and these numbers, if you're not a numbers person, some people simply, this is why I like talking through the visual. Some people struggle with math. And remember, I've said this at least once or twice already, documentation beats conversation. There's nothing I've shown you. The problem with comp plans in this type of business model is that many of them are set up where it's kind of like the old Michael Jordan commercial where they bounced the ball and it had to go through the window and off the bleachers and through the rafters and then nothing but net. Well, the odds of that happening are slim to none. It's not like picking the college tournament right now, the NCAA tournament. It's not like picking the winning bracket. That's not what this is about. You don't have to be lucky. You have to have a work ethic. So let's quickly talk about this life team that's steering you. You've seen at this point you get a $1,000 rank advancement bonus. Now you pick up that 25% life team match on your first 3 people. So, little trick question, test question, if you were paying attention. What if those first 3 people are marketing directors and they've filled their 2nd group and they're earning that month, week, or day income? What's 25% of that number? What's 25% of $1,000 a day? What's 25% of $6,000 a month? I mean, whatever numbers you want to pull out. If we stick with one sale a day, it's $3,000 a month. If we bump that to 10 sales a day, right? $1,000 a day, $30,000 a month. What's 25% of $30,000? 25% would be roughly $7,000 times 3, roughly $21,000, right? On that life team match. And so just think about in terms of how big is that 25%? Massive. The answer is massive. So the great thing also about that life team, remember, they're connected to a code in somebody above you. They're working with those people. They're incentivized to work with those people. There's an ebb and flow, all right? And that is what I call the training process. You fill that life team, you hurry up, rocket through marketing director, get to senior marketing director, and then the combination of those incomes. Now, this is what this means, and then I'm going to move on. You basically have 3 incomes at senior marketing director. You have your $200 to infinity, you have your $100 to infinity, and then you have your 25% match on your first 3 people. Every time they make $100, you make 25. Every time they make $200, you make 50. So you're either making 25, 50s, 100, or 200s. Very, very significant. There's a couple more brackets that you can push yourself into over time. This is the VIP pack. These are the commissions from the VIP pack on this leadership bonus. That pack $698 comes in a big old box. Lots of our world-class products, and this is the smart choice. There's some additional rank advancement bonuses and things that come along, of course. But this is just kind of a summation slide here to just one more time get you thinking about, in all 4 of these codes, you'd be at $8,600 per month. If it was 10 a week, you'd be at $8,600 a week. If it was 10 a day, you'd be at $8,600 per day. These are just example numbers to get you thinking, okay, you know what? I didn't wake up this morning looking at a way that somebody could show me how to make, take that bottom one there. $8,000 a day times 30 days is $250,000 a month. Yes, I'm going to tell you, whether you say yes or no, you can go to bed and say these words. Golly gee, somebody just showed me how to make $250,000 a month. I've never had that happen. All right? Now, the other option is our basic package is $398. It's roughly $300 less, but you're going to do the exact same work for half the money. You need to understand that. Half the money for the same amount of work. Now, this is a cash machine. So far, we've only talked about the front end. There's no company in the world that pays $8,100 on 39 people. That was just an example of the numbers in that third code. This does not include any additional growth in your marketing director code. I kind of alluded to it, folks, and that slide of 10 a month, a month, week, or day, it's kind of nudging you there. But the actual numbers that we showed, it does not include your 25% check match. Does not include any back-end commissions where our products flow through, because we've got consumables that are residual-based. There's a ton of money to be made here. Now, just really quick, because a lot of people like to brag, hey, we've got a car program, we've got this or that. Yeah, whatever, okay? Look at the bonuses here, rank advancement bonuses. It's kind of like working for a Fortune 100 company. You have an incentive package here. You can earn your insurance, your health, vision, dental, life. You can have monthly lifestyle bonuses, trips, cars, but it's not a lease program. They buy it, they hand you the title, they hand you the keys, and yes, we have a 401k retirement plan. Pretty cool. $50,000 a week, I've already alluded to this, and a check match on all of your personally sponsored people down up to, and you earn your way to these, but up to 5 generations of leaders in the back end part of our comp plan. So this is $50K a week, and then on top of that, that check match. So you think about it, 5 generations of people earning checks. So it's really simple. This is where our products flow. This is after that first order bonus, right? This is where people come in and they say, or they're ordering, they're reoccurring orders. We've got live mixers going on. We've had 2 plug-ins to these meetings tonight. Shout out to you. You guys are sipping the coffee. You guys are trying the products. We had Terry, as an example, did I don't know how many live mixers last week on a 9-day Texas tour. Well, where do those samples come from? They flow through this part of the comp plan. It's 10% paid on the lesser leg for that particular week. In this example, if you had 4,000 in sale volume, it'd be 400 a week. If you had 40,000, it'd be 4,000. If you had 400,000, do the math. It's 40K that week. It's not complicated to figure 10% out. So we've got best-in-class products that generate the volume for all of this back-end income that's earned. They're consumable. You can share them. They're healthy. They're easy to talk about. They're backed by science. They taste great. This is not snake oil we're about to talk about here. So now let's check off what we've done so far just to kind of recap. We've showed you how to start your business, why business ownership is important. We've showed you how to fund your business. We've showed you why up front you can make money fast and a lot of it, right? In our front end, there's 6, mid-6, and even 7 figures available. Now let's talk about the products. One of the things that we're most proud of is that worldwide exclusive marketing rights to an ingredient that we've nicknamed the coffee berry. It's the whole fruit around the coffee bean. Sozo owns the worldwide exclusive marketing rights in this industry to the coffee berry. Now, why is that important? Well, I'm not going to take the time to explain what ORAC means, but it's a scoring system. And what we do know is that fruits and things that we can eat and put in our body that fight disease, right? And so the ORAC score is just a measurement of that. It just so happens if you look at the coffee berry, a picture's worth 1,000 words. It is like a super fruit. If you compare it to the blueberry, which most people are familiar with, it's the most popular, what I would call health fruit that you can consume. It takes 625 grams of blueberries to equal 1 gram of coffee berry. So what Sozo does is they take this key ingredient and they put it in our product lines or our product verticals. It starts out with coffee. I like to talk about the one on the left and the right, coffee and energy drinks, and I'll give you an example. Who do you know that drinks coffee? My gosh, I was just down in the Windy City here the last couple of days, and I was at the McCormick Center, and I was watching people walk by, thousands of people with a cup of $5 in their hand, right? And you say, what is $5? You know what $5 is. Everybody knows what $5 is. It's a very popular coffee shop. You don't just get a cup of coffee for a few cents or $1. It's $5 and more, right? Some of you are laughing because you're addicted to $5. So my question is, how much money do you think is in coffee? Well, we know this. It's the second most consumed beverage next to water. It's the second most traded commodity next to oil in the markets. So you think about this, how important is coffee? It's very important. Families are built around it. Our gatherings are built around it. We've got, we just came out of, Thanksgiving and Christmas. We've got Easter coming up. I mean, when people get together tomorrow morning, how much business tomorrow will be conducted around a cup of coffee? I think, I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but I think I've gotten you thinking here about how important it is. It just so happens that cup of coffee, as long as it's Sozo, is the equivalent of eating a fresh cup of blueberries. Now, on the right-hand side, that younger generation, they love energy drinks. We can go to the sport of NASCAR. We can see all the popular ones that spend millions of dollars promoting those race cars, right? And so we like to talk about a healthy alternative. There's a lot of bad press out there on the internet that you can read. Just go Google it. Type in, are energy drinks healthy? Go start searching. You will be blown away. I know this as a person that has a natural head twitch. I can't drink one from the convenience store. I will absolutely flip out. You will think I'm the bobblehead. But I can tell you, I can drink that Liquid Ignite, that pomegranate. I get the same effect is what they claim the other ones. I get that alertness and that mental acuity. I don't get the drowsiness. But when you look at those two products, the reason why I wanted to explain those two particular products, that's what is easy to talk about. When we have a mixer, we sample those products. Now, the one that we're most proud of, that I am at least, is the one in the middle. Because, frankly, I think you can ask any parents, mom or dad, anybody that has children, right? How many servings of fruits and vegetables do you eat as a family? Be honest. Do you eat 21 servings a week? A month? You certainly are not eating them in a day. How long does it take you to eat Well, you know what? One 3-ounce shot is the equivalent of 21 servings of fruits and vegetables. So remember, this superfruit, the coffee berry, is an ingredient in these product lines. Amazingly enough, Sozo also has a healthcare line. You say, oh, come on. Yes, the coffee berry is an antioxidant, and it just so happens that it's way more powerful than the additive green tea. Now, folks, you're listening. These are all things you've been promoted or heard of. Everybody on this event right now has heard of green tea, I promise you. So a picture's worth 1,000 words. And we've got an amazing picture that just got posted tonight on our top Facebook page, Team One Power Play's Facebook page, of a gal in the group from out in the Seattle area, and I'm blown away. I mean, it looks like two different people, and she's been using this particular product. And then I just took a call really quick before I came into this session, and I heard another story about an individual just lost a bunch more weight. Why? Because Pete, here's the deal, folks. If you sit down, I'm going to challenge you here. The issue with people building this type of business, it really comes down to, do they have a comfort level to promote a product? And when we were vetting companies, here's what we came down to, Terry and Paul and I mean we vetted, and we crossed off, and we crossed off. It would blow your mind, the dozens of companies that we looked at. And the one product we kept coming back to that we had a fetish with was coffee, all right? Now, we've got this thermogenic fat-burning coffee. So, you know what? I've got a good friend in the group. He's on this session tonight, and he's lost about 30 pounds in the last 8 or so weeks, drinks a cup of coffee mid-morning, a cup in the afternoon, pays a little bit of attention to what he's eating, and he's losing weight. But more importantly than that, as I start to move on here, is that all of the money I showed you in the beginning, it's great to promote business ownership. We're saving on our taxes and okay, all these dollar signs. But when it comes down to it, folks, people have to have a high comfort level so they can feel comfortable handing out a sample. I've got a text right now. If I'd have been a little more thinking ahead here, got a text from a dear friend of mine of 25 years today. Said, where can I order the coffee? And I sent him the link to our Sozo website. He's not in the business yet. He's vetting us, okay? He's researching, but he had a sample. He said, that is the best dang coffee I have ever drank. I want to buy some and just drink it because I like it. And so I'm working on him. He's a little comfortable. He has a really good income, and he doesn't work real hard, right? So we're trying to figure out his want, need, or desire. So it's really easy, okay, to get started here. Pick your pack. Again, I see people make the mistake. They're going to stick their big toe in the water and grab that basic package, and that's what you have to do. Great. You can upgrade in 28 days, and you need to. I think we clearly illustrated that you leave a lot of money on the table by not choosing the VIP. You're going to need the products because you want the samples. It's more product. That's the difference between them. But you also make twice the money as you get moving here. If you're a guest here, I'm going to tell you, as we start to wind down here, you need to make sure after this session that you text the person that brought you here and say, I'm in. You're going to be an A, B, or C. C, you got your financial plan in place. If you're a C, you already hung up. For some reason, you'd get in here, I opened my mouth, and you don't like something, you clicked out. So I guess I didn't even need to mention the C's because they wouldn't have made it this far. All right, the rest of you are laughing at that comment, but it's the truth, right? They just have that personality where they can't sit still and listen to facts and documentation and wisdom, right? If you're a B, you've got questions. I can understand that. So the person that brought you here, if they can't answer it, they can three-way you in and introduce you to somebody, and they can, diligently walk through and cross out your questions. Or you're an A. You've got enough information, you feel comfortable, you're ready to get started. If you're an A, let the person who brought you here this evening, let them know that you're ready to get started. Now, let's come back to the training. There's two reasons why people fail in this type of business. Number one, they don't make any money or they don't make money fast enough. We clearly covered that. There's no comparison. No comparison whatsoever. There's not even a close second that I can name. The second reason why people fail is they are never properly mentored on how to build their business. One of the common mistakes I see people make is they poke at it with a stick or they try to do it on their own. They do not realize the concept that the pack goes around the track faster in the draft. All right? For those of you that are listening, there's a little bit of training intertwining here. You watch the Daytona 500, if you're out there alone, you are not going as fast as the pack. That is a fact of life. All right? And in this type of business, you want to run as a pack. It creates momentum. We start out, every rep that comes into our team, and this is the unfair advantage, we have a team site. It doesn't cost you a dime. You might say, oh, here they go, the back. No, there's no back end here to sell you something for money. It's team1powerplay.com. You plug in your ID number. You need to be part of our lineage, our team, okay? It's free, as it says. And it also comes with that website connected to your SOZO ID number. That website, moremoneylowertaxes.com/whatever you call your SOZO business. Really cool. And when you log in, you want to get the path to profit. Number 1, we have a step to set up your business. Number 2, launch your business. Number 3, and these are simple commitment steps. But it all starts with getting the path to profit. And this is all part of our team. This is what separates us. These are the same principles and practices that have put in, as I said in the beginning, over a million and a half distributors the last 25 years between Terry and Paul, over $50 million in earnings, and has also trained millions of people around the globe. Terry used to hop Learjets and fly from one country to another in the same day, 3 hours apart, and speak at his own 2 conventions the same weekend, the same day, and have 60, 70, 80,000 people there on his team. It's funny because I'll get these calls, well, hey, you don't realize who I'm working with. I'll say, okay, tell me about the person. Yeah, they put in 5,000 people. Terry had more than that quit every month. That's how big his team was, right? When you got 5,000 people that decide not to do something, you got a big team, right? Yeah, it's called having over 1 million people on your team. So I get a little passionate talking about folks. We know that we know that we know, and sometimes I can come across a little wrong when I'm trying to drive home that point because, it can come across as braggadocious. That's not what I'm trying to do, but I want you to know, as I wrap this up, when I say we were vetting companies, we were vetting SOZO. We were vetting many other companies. This is the one we chose. Why? I just covered all the reasons. We were looking for a company that, number 1, was legal. Number 2 was well-funded. Number 3 had corporate leadership with no skeletons in the closet. Number 4 had product verticals that people could easily talk about and they would consume, so there was constant volume flow, all right, constant usage of products. And number 5, the compensation. And so we talk about living the SOZO life empowered, right? That's what this is all about. So, again, if you're a guest, we're wrapping this thing up. I encourage you to get back with the person that sent you here. I know we've got a lot of people on these sessions tonight all across North America. I know we've got a lot of you out on the West Coast in here this evening spying on us. That's really cool. So anyways, we are really fired up that you're all here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to wrap this up, close it out, and folks, watch our text blasts, our email. We've got more of these. We're doing about 10 to 20 of these a week. Some of them are unannounced. They're privately done, and some we open up for the whole team. So you need to watch because they're all different parts. So, hey, have a great evening. This is officially over. All right, bye-bye.